PT Core Speaking challenges you with this question. The question you see on screen is respond to a situation. So we're going to break this down, how to effectively answer this and get full marks within the 40 seconds. Remember, you have to impress the AI, and the steps that I'm going to mention in this video will ensure that you make the AI, first of all, understand you, ensure that it knows you're accurately addressing the task response, you have a good structure as well, and you get the full marks for vocabulary and content. Now, let's have a look at a sample question. This is respond to a situation, and you gotta you can listen to it as well on audio, which is weird because it's written right in front of you, but they play an audio as well. So you will get that audio, and then you'll have 20 seconds to think about your answer. This is the question right here in blue, okay? It's a long question, and that's one of the things I'll break down for you. Then you have 40 seconds to answer this question. Please answer as completely as you can. Now, let's read the question, and then the very next point I have to tell you is related to the length of the question, okay? It says, you have been carpooling. Again, you need to have good vocab. If you don't know what carpooling is, this will damage your answer. So carpooling is when more than one person, they decide to use one car to go somewhere. And that's what you're doing. You have been carpooling with a colleague to work for the past few weeks to save on gas and reduce your carbon footprint. Today, you notice that the car's engine is making a strange noise and the ride feels bumpier than usual. You suspect that the car might need some maintenance, which could be due to normal wear and tear or something related to the recent trips. You're about to discuss this with your colleague. What would you say to your colleague? It's a huge question, right? And of course, it's going to play so you can listen to it before preparation. But again, you would have to read it as well just to ensure that it's the same question that is in your mind or the same question that you read or listened to. And you only have 20 seconds to do that. You also have that same time to think. It's not like you have separate thinking time and then separate reading time. So the first thing you got to do is simplify this question. Okay, make it easy for yourself to understand. If I have to summarize this, I could say it in much simpler words. You carpool with a friend, but now the car is having some issues today. What would you tell your friend? That's it. Okay, so that's the the first thing you have to do, simplify the question. Because when you see all this, it looks daunting and it's like, how do I even do this in 40 seconds? But if you just simplify it, hey, your car's not working basically, so tell your carpool friend what to do now. Okay, that really helps break down all the nervousness and makes the approach easy. Now, you got to think about a person. I highly recommend this, guys. If you talk about someone random like Bob, hey Bob, I don't really know Bob, but I know Sarah, for example, in my real life. Now, I know Sarah's habits. I know what she wears, how she dresses, what she prefers, and so on. So, in my answer, not only am I going to be comfortable, it's going to be just be a personality thing. I'm going to be comfortable because this is a friend, but also I could relate to some things that are real in her life. For example, I know Sarah goes to PepsiCo for work. So I could address that hey, maybe your shift at PepsiCo would be delayed, or maybe you want to call PepsiCo, tell them you're going to be late. I could insert a sentence or two like that there. It's really handy to make the tone appropriate, and it's really handy in times when I don't know what to say. At least I can relate to this person and I can add more points. So think about a real person. I can add that here too, real person, not just an imaginary friend, because then it's hard to make. And it also sounds unoriginal, and you will get scored less if it sounds robotic or unoriginal. Now, know the tone, which is related to thinking about a person, because if I think about Sarah, she is an informal person. She's a friend. Now, the tone here is going to be informal. And if the person is formal, I will use formal wordings if I'm talking to my boss or an employer. That tone has marks. So remember what you are talking about here. You're talking about your friend. And that's where I'm going to use very basic words, not too basic where it's just day to day, but slightly more advanced, but not too advanced. So it's just a good mixture. An example is if I say the word so, it is just too basic. It's almost like a filler. But if I say therefore, that's too formal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this is why, or that's why. And that's somewhere in the middle. It's a low frequency word or phrase, and that's the tone I need to realize I have to use throughout this answer. The next step is to keep the intro short. Remember, guys, you only have 40 seconds to answer this question. If you're coming from IELTS, 2-minute cue cards, it's a big change. Coming from CELPIP, 60 to 90 seconds to 40 seconds, it's a big change. And a lot of you are switching from those exams because PTE Core is a newer exam, so most of you have done other exams before. So if you are coming here, this time runs too fast, okay? So 40 seconds, you got to keep the intro short, and this is where you can do the greeting if need be. I mean, if it's a good suggestion or a good occasion, then you can say how are you or how's it going, and then go get to the point. But here, we don't have that luxury. Here, it's more like a problematic situation. So what I'm going to say is, hey, Sarah, hope you're having a good morning, but unfortunately, I got a bad news for you. That's the intro, very short, just one sentence. I don't even need to say hope you're doing well, but if I'm confident I can get it within the time, I will. Okay? But you got to get to the situation there. A lot of you make the mistake of making the intro too long. Hey Sarah, how are you doing? I hope your morning is going terrific. Okay, well I got to tell you about something. This is too much time, guys. You have almost if you do that, you're using almost 40% of the time. Okay? Keep the intro short. That's very important. Remember then, 2 to 3 reasons are enough. Okay, this is another major mistake. People trying to put 10 points within 40 seconds, which is nearly impossible. But when you do that, you sound like you're rushing. Each point also has no quality because you can make, for example, with this case, I can say the car's engine light is on. The car is bumpier today, and I don't think the car is in any shape to drive 2 kilometers. Too many things. None of them are expressed with quality. If I do one point instead of all of these with quality, and I explain it in a way like this, I say that the car today is way more bumpy than it usually is, especially on the speed bumps. I don't think it can have or it can give us a smooth ride. So that is now well defined. It is talking about the car being bumpy. An example was on the speed bumps, and the conclusion that I don't think it can give us a smooth ride. That point is defined well. It's a long, complex sentence, and it has an in-depth description. And I just need 2 to 3 of these, which is going to cover my time and also add to the range of vocab expressions if I do it correctly. Make sure to use connectors between reasons. Furthermore, likewise, also, in this case, I would use connectors like also plus or due to that or that is why, because this is an informal situation. Now, you want to conclude with a suggestion or solution, okay? Don't just explain that this is the situation of the car and finish. You always have to wrap it up with what do you do next, okay? So you could say, how about I hand over my car to the mechanic and we can just Uber today, okay? That would be your solution in this case, but in other cases, find the relevant solution. At the end, you want to still have one more line, and this is 2 to 5 letters to finish. It's something like, let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Take care. Or what are your thoughts? Anything like that, okay? It's a small sentence or phrase at the end that wraps up the concluded suggestion even better, okay? So make sure you hit your conclusion nicely, keep the intro short, 2 to 3 reasons in between, and really try to finish it in 40 seconds because that's a huge challenge. All right, that's it, guys. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Next video is going to be on the hardest module, PTE Core Writing. So please subscribe. We'll talk soon.